Today we're going to be doing a little upcycling. And so a 50-mile-an-hour wind decided to knock my storm door off of my house. And after looking at it for a couple of days, I decided I could use a window in my shop. And my window in my shop is also broken. And so it seemed like a good fit. And so here I am just kind of ripping out the old portion. This is one of those windows that slides in, slides out. I don't know how else to describe it. It's on hog houses and barns and things. But it had no frame, it had no glass, none of that stuff. And so I just decided to enlarge it a little bit, let a little bit more light in, because the only thing that lets light in, aside from this opening, is the garage door, which in the wintertime, it's nice to not have that open. And so this is going to allow a lot more airflow. It's going to allow a lot more light. And so I'm just taking the angle grinder with a cutoff blade, enlarging the hole, and then I'm going to move those 2x4 pieces into place so that way I know where they're supposed to go. And I'm still going to use the old frame. So this is the frame from the storm door, and it ripped off my house and it snapped it in half. However, the glass stayed good even after like a 3-foot fall. And so I feel like if it's good enough to withstand that, then it should probably have another life. And so I'm just going to use that frame and other pieces from it to build a new frame. You can see I'm kind of measuring things up right now. And I'm just going to cut those flush, and then I'll add a piece that I cut off, and I'll use that as a topper. And so the whole thing should fit inside, and then I can even use the trim pieces from before just to put it back together. So I'm just trying to get it a new life. The only damage it did have is it pulled away. It snapped a portion that holds the glass pane together. So I'm using a little bit of silicone caulk in order to get that to grab and hold. And then you can see I'm just kind of putting this whole thing back together, back into its frame. I'm going to use some pocket holes to hold the bottom portion of the frame. The only thing I regret is not trimming down the right side that you can see there to match the left side. That kind of annoys me, but it's done and it's on the wall, and I'm not looking back. Only a fool trips over what's behind him. So we're just going to keep moving forward. And so I'm putting a little trim piece over the top, and I'm going to mirror that. This is some cedar, and we're going to do the same thing on the sides. This piece is really wide, and so I'm going to resaw it in half. And somehow, some way, I managed to eyeball that thing to where it was exactly even. This is a pretty awesome day. And I'm just going to cut these down, get them fit right for the window. A couple screws, add them up there. And I did have to move the little electrical that's down below. I'll be restapling that later. And then the last part, kind of like a little windowsill, but there it is. It is done. Opens, closes, lickety split.